Okay, it's gonna be y'all right here. We are now. We start the show now. That's how it's going down. How y'all feeling tonight? Yo, hump day Wednesday, and it's going down like that. Yes. Daily Go Get a Business Show, baby. Yes, and it's the daily go get a Mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Left lane, fast lane, no coasting. Word up, baby. It's the daily go get a Mism show. Hump day version. Here it is, Wednesday the 24th, and we are taking off like a plane going north, baby. Yeah, the Daily Go Get a Business Show. And tonight on the Daily Go Get a Business Show, we are talking about anxiety, paranoia, fear, and being afraid. They all sound the same, but are they? Let's take a little. Let's take a little look. We're going to read it like a book. So let's get into this thing. Anxiety, paranoia, fear, and being afraid. They all sound like they have the same properties, but do they work the same way? We can find out today. Hey. Daily Go Get a Business Show. What's good? It's the Daily Go Get a Business Show. Carol Chamberlain, mi favorita, is all up in the house. Good to see ya. Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bow! About to turn it out. That's how it's going down, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Don't hesitate to hit the like button. Yes. And it's a Charlene Curry. A Charlene Curry. What's going on, Charlene? How you feeling, Charlene? Good to see me, some you, and you know that's true. You know just how we do. So yeah, we talking about anxiety, paranoia, fear, and just being afraid. Do they work out the same? Let's get it popping, y'all. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. With this your daily. The Daily Go Get a Business Show. We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R's. The Daily Go Get a Business Show all up in your area. How y'all feeling? Listen, tonight on this Hump Day Wednesday, y'all know I was born on a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Hump Day all up in your area, baby. The 24th of June. We on our way to July. Summer is in full bloom. Now, you know, a funny thing is about to happen. The 20th of June was the longest day of the year. The first day of summer is the longest day of the year. But right after that, the days start getting shorter. We won't really notice that they're getting shorter, but you'll notice like going up to the 20th and right past the 20th, it's daylight at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's about to stop happening. So then you won't get light until like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And by the end of the summer, you'll start seeing the difference. But we are good right now, and we haven't even gotten through the first false holiday of the season, the 4th of July and all of that. So let's get it popping, y'all. Yo, tonight on the Daily Go Get a Business Show, we are talking about paranoia, fear, anxiety, and being afraid. Are they the same thing? Have you ever been paranoid? If you've ever been paranoid, you know that being paranoid is a very uncompromising position. It's not something that you ever want to have in your life, because when you're paranoid, you believe that someone is out to get you. That's different than anxiety. Anxiety makes you feel like something is out to get you. Like there are just forces out there everywhere. You know what I mean? When you're normally anxious, when you're normally going through a bout with anxiety, you kind of feel it inside. You feel it internally, like something is going on inside of you that doesn't feel right, and it makes you afraid and fearful of everything around you, but no particular thing. When you're paranoid, you believe that somebody is out to get you. Somebody is waiting in the wings. ducking behind a car, behind the tree, something like that, waiting to murk you, hurt you, cut you, shoot you, beat you up, punch, slap, and kick you. That's the way paranoia works. Now we're gonna take a little trip to the Google and see what the actual definition of these terms are. But I just wanted to give you a little background, a little preview, a little prologue. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all know what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now, these things can be, they're all serious. We may joke around with a lot of them, and but a lot of these things lead up to having to take medication for some people if it gets serious like that. Some of these things are indicative of a bout with depression. Some of them are indicative of serious mental illness, and it's like you can't turn them off. So it can get pretty serious. None of them are anything that you would want to be present in your life. That's for sure. That's one thing we can vouch for. You definitely don't want to have any of these things going on with you, but it happens, baby. It happens. So let's get it popping. The Daily Go Get a Business Show. 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. 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 Let's get it popping. Paranoia, anxiety, fear, and just being afraid. What's the difference between fear and being afraid? Well, it may be a matter of perspective, and it may be a matter of an actual feeling. Like, when you are fearful of something, you probably are fearful of it 24/7. You know what I'm saying? When you're afraid of something, that may just be something that happened to you impromptu, like somebody could have snuck up on you, or you got into an unfamiliar circumstance and it made you uncomfortable, and that's why you are afraid at the time. In other words, being afraid can be a temporary condition, where being fearful is often something that lasts for a long time. If you have a fear of mice, you're not only afraid of mice when mice are around, you may think about mice when they're not around, and you're scared. You know what I'm saying? Like you may not be able to function in a normal setting when somebody says a mouse. When somebody says the word mouse or mice, you may already start getting all anxious and nervous and heart beating out your chest. You've seen people do it. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? So, like, when you are fearful, there are certain things that can act as a trigger for your fear. Like I said, like let's say you're afraid of snakes. You may not be able to watch a movie with a snake in it. I've seen it happen. My late great stepdad was afraid of snakes. I guess being down south, maybe he had a bad snake experience, but he didn't like snakes. When he would see a snake in a movie or a TV show or something like that, he'd be like, "Oh man, turn this mess off." He did not like snakes, So and there were other things that went along with it, because being from down south, you probably encountered snakes and didn't like them, and he grew up in a religious family, and things like snakes, taboo. No snakes. That's the serpent. That's the serpent, and that's the way he looked at it. Same thing with apples. He didn't like eating apples because, Adam and Eve with the apple. I was like, but stepdad, but dad, that wasn't true. It wasn't an apple. Yeah, well, whatever. Whatever it said that it was an apple. I was like, yeah, but they taught you that in Sunday school. That's not what it say in the Bible. Apples are bad, this I know, cause the Bible tell me so. Apples are bad, this I know, cause the Bible told him. No. It's not what the Bible said, but it's all good. It's all good. Stacey White, the D, holding it down for the D. Hold it down for the D. Stacey White all up in the house. Stacey Yvette White, what's going on, ma? It's good to see me some you. I appreciate you coming on through. Hold it down for the D all day, every day. Stacey White, thanks. I appreciate you. So yeah, that's what, when you start talking about being fear or having a fear or something, it's ever present. It's omnipresent, ever present, omnipresent. It's always there. It's always there. You're not afraid of bugs only when you see bugs. You're afraid of bugs when somebody say the word bugs. Like, yo, did somebody say bug? Somebody said bugs. Bug. My name is Whistle, and this is true. We love doing things that we're not supposed to do. We don't mean, okay. But y'all understand what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, you do. Daily Go Get a Missing Show. We are talking about paranoia, anxiety, fear, and just being scared, man. Well, just being afraid. Whatever. 319-527-6199. Now let me put the number in, you know what I'm saying? Put the number on up in here. And if you can't fight the feeling, you come on up in here and you speak your piece on this uncensored line. You know what I mean? I can't fight this feeling any longer. And girl, I'm just afraid to let it show. All right, let's go. Coal and Ream all up in your area. Good shit. Yeah, being fearful. Fear. When you're fearful, that's like when you have phobias. And we can talk about phobias all day. We're not going to, but we can talk about phobias all day. People have strange phobias. And they don't have just phobias when they're around the thing that they're afraid of. If you have a phobia of dogs, you're afraid of dogs. You're afraid of dogs all the time. Cats, animals of all kinds. Heights. Some people are afraid of heights. The thought of them having to climb on a ladder is like, oh no, that kind of thing. Phobia, swimming. Some people are deathly afraid of the water. Afraid of water. Like, no, I'm not going in that thing. Not deep. Not past my knees. Not past my knees. No, not up to the waist. That's too much. That thing might pull me by the waist like a belt. You know what I mean? Like a rope, and I'm the anchor man. We're not doing that. No. Oh, wait a minute, Carol. Wait. What are you saying you're afraid of? I know you're afraid of mice. Oh, mice. Oh, yeah. Okay, Charlene, she says, I'm afraid of mice, or should I say petrified? That's what I'm talking about. That's what a fear is. That's what being fearful is. You know what I'm saying? That's more than, being afraid. You may be afraid of a one-time occurrence. You're in a dark alley. Somebody take you in the alley and stick you up, take all your money, flash that gun in your face, and you see your life flash before your eyes. I don't know. I don't know about you, but personally, I think that that's a valid reason to be afraid. Yep, I think it is. I think it is. You don't want to lose your life, and you're afraid. But like I said, that's a one-time occurrence. It's not like you spent your whole life like, I gotta avoid going outside because somebody, the stick-up kids are coming. The stick-up kids are coming. The stick-up kids are coming, and they're gonna back me into an alley, feel my titties, and take my money. I'm like, I gave you my purse. I don't see why you had to grab my titty. Why you gotta be violating me? Go ahead. Give me back $20 though. This ain't free. Don't get too fresh. Don't get too fresh. All right, anyway. So, there are differences between being afraid and being fearful. Phobias, those are fearful properties. Fearful. You have a fear, you have a phobia. Phobia, fear, phobia, fear. Like, it's kind of amazing to me, though. How some people can be in abusive relationships, and I mean physically abusive relationships for years, and they ain't afraid. They not even afraid to get their ass whooped in, night in and night out. But a mouse run past them. Oh my God! Them and their abusive ass husband be running from the mouse. They both on the damn chair. Like, yeah. You mean to tell me you can whoop my ass night in and night out, but you scared of that fucking mouse? You need to do something. I know if I was a woman, I'd tell my man, you not whooping my ass one more time until you stop being afraid of mice. You gonna whoop my ass? You gonna have to man up. And I ain't gonna front. I do not respect men that are afraid of mice. It's funny. I mean, I get real funny. Like, no, we not doing that. No. I be clowning my friends all the time. I'm like, yo, all that being afraid of mice shit. Come on, dog. How about the people who are afraid of cats, but not afraid of dogs? And they be saying like, cause cats sneaky. They sneaky. First it just be seeming like they there chilling. Next thing you know, they just jump at you. I'm like, yeah, well, I ain't never hear about a baby being mauled by a cat. I ain't never hear of a baby being mauled by a cat. Yeah, I was bitten by that cat bit me. Like, yeah, well, you ain't get more than a flesh wound out of that. What you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me Fluffy locked on you? Let go, Fluffy. Come on, girl. Get off, Fluffy. Osel Jones says, I'm afraid of not giving 100% effort. Never living with regrets. Would you call that a phobia, though? I don't know. Stacy White says, I'm afraid of escalators going down and going up. When I was a kid, my feet got caught in one. And I guess that's your trigger. Because when your foot gets or anything gets cut in that thing, like it don't stop. And then you realize how big and powerful the motor is on the escalator. I can understand. Like you can mess around and get your jacket caught in the escalator tracks and you feel like the escalator is trying to eat you. Yo, I'm gonna get shredded by an escalator track. Calm down. Fare thee well, Hiawatha. Fare thee well, brave warrior. Fare thee well, Hiawatha. Fare thee well, brave warrior. That's right. That's right, Carol, with his punk ass. Fuck out of here. I be giving dudes the business. I be clowning my man all the time. I be like, yo, man, you and this fear mice thing. Come on, man, cut that bit. Yo, how is it that you was in the military and you afraid of mice? Like, what's it gonna be? You ain't afraid of terrorists, Islamic extremists, but you afraid. Yo, get away from me before I bring in my pet rat. Carol Chambers says, one of my fears is not being able to be here for my children. Yeah, well, a lot of us have that. I'm still not sure if that's a phobia though, but maybe. Why not? You know, I mean, some people are afraid to die. A lot of people are afraid to die. I would be one of them. Is that a phobia? Does it stick with me all the time? Do I carry it around? Is it my motivation for doing this and that and the third? My phobia is more, it's not about dying, because you can't avoid that anyway. That's going to happen. I don't really like the fact that it's going to happen, but we have to accept it because we have no choice. But when you consider, like, I do have a phobia of being sick, like terminally ill, like really, really sick, like really, really sick. Because you know how bad it feels to be sick, like sick. You know, like, I don't like witnessing sickness, and I don't like being sick. TK Wright says, mice and rats are on different levels. Yep, they are. And I've never met a person that was afraid of mice who wasn't even more afraid of rats. But I'll tell you what, Michael Jackson wasn't afraid of no rats. I'm Mr. Rat. I'm Mr. Rat. Where are you, Mr. Rat? Mr. Rat, 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 Mr. Rat. Oh shit! Here comes Joseph. Here comes Joseph. Here comes Joseph. Run, Mr. Rat. Run, Mr. Rat. Run, Mr. Rat. Oh shit! Here comes run, Mr. Rat. Mr. Rat. Mr. Rat. Run, Mr. Rat. Here comes Joseph. Run, Mr. Rat. Run, Mr. Rat. Oh shit! Here comes Joseph. Joseph got Mr. Rat. He's gonna fuck up Mr. Rat. He done exterminated Mr. Rat. You make the rat go splat. Oh, why did you do my rat like that? Ben was my best friend. You made him end his life. That shit was wrong. He was the only friend I had all along. Now, when I get big and rich and famous, I'm going to get me a whole jungle for your ass, and I'm never coming to see you at the house again, Mr. Joseph. Mr. Rat. Mr. Rat. The fuck? Mr. Rat. Emily says, the doctor gave me anxiety pills in the past, but I will not take them. I refuse to become a statistic. Well, you got the statistic just by getting the prescription, though. Once you get the prescription, they don't care whether you fulfill it or once you fill it or not. You count now. You got to keep him from prescribing this shit. Like, nope, you ain't prescribing me that shit. No. Because once you get the prescription, you go in the database. Once you get the prescription, you go in the database, baby. She says, I was visiting someone last week and her 2 dogs ran at me and around the corner. You should have seen me jumping up out of my chair. Oh, you're afraid of dogs. Mm-hmm. All I know is they don't call dogs man's best friend for nothing. Nothing is more accommodating than a fucking dog. Every day wagging, jumping up on you, happy to see you consistently every fucking day. Not even just every day, but multiple times a day. You go to the store, when you come back, they like, I'm so glad you back. I'm so glad you back. You wanna go for a walk? Here, pet me behind the ear. I said, here, pet me behind the ear. I said, yeah, pet me behind the ear. I said, here, pet me behind the ear. You know? I mean, people like dogs because they are very stressed. They really help to relieve stress. You know, a human being cannot be counted on day in and day out to show you the kind of love that a dog does. They just do it. Even cats are nowhere near on that level. Nowhere near on that level. You know what I'm saying? They good, but they ain't like no dog. I give them that. A cat would be like, all right, it's about when I want love, not you. Now, I'll give it to you when I want it too, but it's really about me. Like, yo, there has to be some reward for catching those mice. Girl, Nikki is all up in the house. Nikki, 1986. Nikki, what's going on, ma? How you feeling? How you feeling? Carol Chamberlain says he was more afraid of his dad than Ben. Ben, you are the for me. Fuck out of here. Yo, what a weirdo. All right. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. Ansel Jones says, for 1 year, I was afraid of camel spiders, and they were the size of a fist. Yeah. Afghan spiders. They be the movie spiders. They not the regular dusty space spiders. We talking about big giant spiders. Like, why does a spider need to be that big? What are you trying to do? Catch bats? You gonna spin a web big enough to catch a small animal? What the blood clot? Right? Girl Nikki says years ago, a young boy foot was amputated on the escalator at the subway station at Broad in Erie, I believe. How? I mean amputated. He must have got something caught in the escalator. Probably wearing his pants hanging down, and maybe his maybe the cuffs of his jeans was hanging low, and it got caught in. I don't know. Don't get me on line. Like that shit could just rip off. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, so I think we get the difference between being afraid and being fearful. There are certain triggers that come along with being fearful, where just being afraid of something can be a one-time occurrence. You know, it's something that can sneak up on you. You know, you ain't really know it was coming, and, you know, but you can handle it. It may be something that's manageable. It's manageable. So that's what we're talking about on the Daily Go Getimism show, y'all. Paranoia, anxiety, being fearful. No. Fear and being afraid, and just being afraid. That's what we're talking about. 319-527-6199. If y'all want to call into the show, 319-527-6199. Shout out to all my Instagrammers out there. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. Thanks for showing that love. Please share the show, y'all. Please share the show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We're a little low on likes today. I need y'all to hit that like button. Hit it. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel thus far. I appreciate that. Yes, I do. All right. So hold on. Okay. So yeah. So when we go back to what paranoia is and what anxiety is, you paranoid. If you've ever been around somebody that was paranoid, you'll notice that there's certain things about people who are paranoid that will catch your attention. Like paranoia can be brought on by excessive drug use. Like people who use cocaine, smoke cocaine, whatever, eat, smoke crack or whatever. It can make you very paranoid, because maybe it's the stimulant in the drug, the stimulant, because it hypes you up, it raises your heart rate and all of that. So but it gets you to thinking that. Listen, I never forget my my nephew's father. He was on that coke shit. Eventually started smoking crack. But back in his cocaine days, he would be looking out. He was living with us for a while. He'd be peeking through the curtains and shit like, oh yeah, I got something for their ass. I got something for them. We used to be like, oh my fucking goodness. This motherfucker getting high. He peeking behind. He swore somebody was out to get him. He was paranoid. He was in the drug game because, he sold drugs. He's making good money till he started using too much of what he was supposed to be selling and falling off. But during that time, yeah, he was paranoid, and we witnessed it. It was like, yo, this is crazy. And he was all in. He was all in, deep, paranoid. So yeah, I've seen many people who got high, and that was what made them become paranoid. So it wasn't like something that was ongoing with them. When they were sober, they weren't paranoid at all. So let's take a look at what paranoia is, and yeah, let's get into it. What is the definition of paranoia?
Here's the definition of paranoia. A mental condition characterized by delusions of persecution, unwarranted jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance, typically elaborated into an organized system. It may be an aspect of chronic personality disorder, of drug abuse, or of a serious condition such as schizophrenia in which the person loses touch with reality.
It's a pretty good definition, as definitions go. And I guess I say that because most of the things that they talked about are things that I could relate to because I've seen it actually happen, for myself. So for those of you who didn't really hear her or weren't listening, it's a noun, and it's a mental condition characterized by delusions of persecution, unwarranted jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance, typically elaborated into an organized system. It may be an aspect of chronic personality disorder or of drug abuse or a serious condition such as schizophrenia in which the person loses touch with reality. That's very serious, and it happens just like that. Like I was just talking about the whole drug abuse thing. Yeah, for some reason, people who abuse drugs become paranoid a lot. It doesn't seem to be a whole lot that you can do about it. And then you have to wait for them to come down. And once they start coming down, they start, getting in touch with reality a little bit more. But because they are drug abusers, they're never sober for very long. So they kind of learn to live with the anxiety, well, with the paranoia that they feel. So now, what are the symptoms of paranoia? Symptoms of paranoia. Oh, symptoms of paranoid personality disorder. Uh-oh. Believing that others have hidden motives or are out to harm them. Damn, I must have paranoid personality disorder because I've been feeling like this lately. doubting the loyalty of others, being hypersensitive to criticism, having trouble working with others, being quick to become angry and hostile, becoming detached or socially isolated. I need help, niggas. Believing that others have hidden motives or are out to get them. Doubting the loyalty of others. Being hypersensitive to criticism. Having trouble working with others. Being quick to become angry and hostile. Becoming detached or socially isolated. I'm doomed. What triggers paranoia? Let's see. People become paranoid when their ability to reason and assign meaning to things breaks down. We don't know why this happens. It's thought paranoia. It could be caused. What kind of? This is a definition. It's thought paranoia. It could be caused by genes. I think that should say it's thought that paranoia could be caused by genes, chemicals in the brain, or by stressful or traumatic life events. It's likely a combination of factors. Is responsible. Who the hell wrote this shit? I thought when you publish something, it's supposed to be written correctly. How can you calm down paranoia? Helpful things to do. Avoid arguing with the person about what they are being paranoid about. Let them know you can understand why they would feel afraid given the things they are thinking. Show them with your body language that you are on the same side. E.g., example, sit beside rather than in front of them. Stay calm. Stay calm. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I got no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. See? Michael Jackson was making conscious songs for singers who couldn't even sing. Where is he now? But yeah, man. Yeah, it's a paranoia thing is serious. It's very, very serious. So, well, those are a lot of things. Those are some of the things that can bring on episode of paranoia. You know, so some people relax when they smoke the weed. Some people get paranoid when they smoke the weed. Depends. Don't abuse the weed. Don't use the coke. Don't abuse the weed. I said, don't use the coke. Don't abuse the weed. I said, don't use the coke. Don't use the weed. Don't use the weed. Don't use the weed. The weed. Wait, no. You can use the weed. Don't use the coke. Don't use the coke. Don't use the coke. You gonna turn into a joke. Don't use the coke. Don't use the coke. Don't sniff it or even smoke. Definitely don't smoke it. All right. Anxiety, paranoia, anxiety. Ow. Fear and being afraid. Being afraid. Now, yeah, I'm thinking that when you're just afraid of something, it's a temporary thing. You know, it's not something that's always on your mind. You know what I mean? But anxiety is the state of being afraid for a long time over a period of time. You know, many people need medication. And, you know, I feel funny saying that they need medication because I'm not so sure if I think that most people who suffer from anxiety need medication. If anything, I think they suffer from not understanding a lot of things. If any of you have ever had anxiety attacks, panic attacks, the same thing. Some people call them anxiety attacks and some people call them panic attacks. But one thing that's similar to paranoia with anxiety is that you do lose touch with reality. Your internal reality seems to be the only thing that makes sense at the time that you're going through it. And you are definitely going through it. Increased heart rate, sweating, maybe even like fever symptoms or whatever. You're like, no, it's not the COVID. I'm just fucked up. But when you have a episode or you have a bout with anxiety or an episode of anxiety, it can be rough for you. It can really, really be rough for you because it may not be something that you can easily just jump in and out of. Everybody doesn't handle anxiety the same. And it can sideline people for a good minute until they seek treatment. And unfortunately, for some people, it leads to a very, very violent end, like suicide and things like that. They can't take it. And they, it's because it's a form of depression. It's a form of depression, and it can make life feel unbearable, being afraid all the time. But like I said, paranoia is when you feel like somebody is out to get you. You know exactly the source of where your fear is coming from, and you fear their motives. You question their motives, and just like I said, their motives, their loyalty. You think that they're out to harm you. You think that they're out to get you, but you know who it is that you think is out to get you. That's the difference between paranoia and anxiety. And with anxiety, you don't know who's coming to get you, and it doesn't even matter because the fear that you fear is on the inside. And many people who suffer from anxiety know that the fear is on the inside, but it doesn't make it any less severe. It doesn't lessen the fear at all. It's still something that you have to really, really deal with, and it's a tough situation, making life very uncomfortable, making you very, oh man, the stress that goes along with being in that heightened state of fear on the inside. You suffer from anxiety attack, you think you're going to die. A lot of times you think that you're going to die, like, yo, this is it. Like on some old Fred Sanford. Yo, I'm coming to join you, honey. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey. I'm coming to join you. Doom, 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 doom. All right. Purple Rain, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Actual fact. Christopher Catchings is in the house. What's going on, Chris? How you feeling? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Girl Nikki says, all this MJ slander got to stop. No, it don't. He was never slandered enough. Not nearly enough. Oh, I said, we have a caller on the line. All right, caller with the last number is 9682. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. What's on your mind? Thank you for what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to jump in here because I'm actually someone who deals with anxiety, and I can speak from first-hand experience.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about?
Okay. So, I mean, you were kind of speaking to what anxiety is like, and I felt as though I could definitely offer, be a voice here if you had any specific questions. first off, but I also can just freely speak. So, you let me know
Okay.
would you
What?
like to start?
All right. The way this works is, first of all, I've suffered from anxiety too, so it's not. I'm not foreign to it. I'm like brother or first cousin to it. But I've learned to control it over the years. I've had my first bout with anxiety when I was 11. I'm 49 and I'll be 50 in a couple of months. So like, yeah, I know a lot about it. And I remember the way it made me feel the first time I've experienced it, because it feels like it comes out of nowhere. But what it really has a lot to do with is hormonal changes, like going through puberty and things like that. For a pre-adolescent or a teenager, where their hormones may be raging out of control, it can really do a job on their psyche. When you have other things going on, like peer pressure and expectations, even feelings of like, if you're dealing with the opposite sex, if you're having problems with sexual identity. Now a lot of young people are going through that, whatever. But when I was growing up, a lot of cats were in the closet and things like that, so they were dealing with that sort of thing. But all kinds of pressure when you're a young person, you're trying to deal with those things, and you may be dealing with feelings of insecurity. All of these things can lead to about with anxiety that can leave you reeling. You know what I mean? I'm talking emergency room visits, that type of shit is very, very real to you. It's not real. It's not real at all. But to you on the inside, it's real as shit.
It is real. It's real. I mean, I think so. I want to be clear for the people who don't know what it's like. First off, it feels way worse than it actually looks. On the inside, I know you did make it, you kind of referenced that it looks like you're going to die. It truly does. And it's actually not just mental. Physically, you're feeling the symptoms of, what really is being in fight or flight mode, where your adrenaline is rushing and your heart is pumping really fast. Looks like you're going to have a heart attack. And it's hard to stand up. A lot of times, like, I sweating profusely, and it's like you mentally, you kind of go into a weird space where it's like you have to ground yourself and try to, tell yourself that you're safe right now, because your body is reacting as though you're not. And mentally, you can know that you're safe, but now you're actually responding to these symptoms that are really essentially coming out of nowhere. And that's more so where the panic can start to set in, and it kind of can become a cycle of sorts. I actually first experienced it. It was a trigger after I had a near-death experience where I almost drowned, and I just tried to brush it off. Once I got rescued out, I didn't go to the hospital or anything because I was good. But I was in class taking an exam in college, and it just kind of hit me out of nowhere where my chest felt really tight, and I had to leave out. It was like a final exam because it, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to describe it, and it seemed to run away. Second time it happened was when my godmother was in the hospital, and I was kind of really worked up about that. And I still wasn't able to really put two and two together exactly what was going on with it until probably I had an instance where it got triggered through marijuana, and that is something else that a lot of people don't know. That it doesn't necessarily always calm you down.
Yes, that is true.
It can make your senses even more aware, and the psychoactive effects of the marijuana doesn't really work, but CBD does because it doesn't have the THC in it.
Oh yeah, that's true. But see, when I was growing up, they didn't have all that. There was no CBD. You know what I'm saying? Weed wasn't good for you when I was growing up. I knew a lot of people smoke weed. Listen, I'll never forget my next door neighbor. You know, may she rest in peace, man. But she was a jewel, and she used to smoke weed, and eventually she started sniffing coke and all of that kind of stuff, and shit got out of hand. But when she was smoking the weed, she'd be like, I can't feel nothing in my legs. I can't feel my fucking legs. And her mom is coming over, and she like, yo, Shari, what's wrong? What's wrong? I can't feel nothing in my legs. And we looking like, yo. And we looking like, because she just high. Like, we know what's wrong. Yo, she high. Yeah. So, everybody wants to talk about the medicinal properties of weed, but they're talking about there's a difference between the medicinal weed and the recreational weed. We was just smoking the regular. Well, they was just smoking the regular skunk weed. I didn't smoke weed. So, but I wanna ask you about why you say that it's real, because with fear being an acronym for false evidence appearing real, it's easy to feel fearful when you don't feel like you are in control of your surroundings, in control of your, not just your surroundings, but in control of what's going on inside of you. And really, that's where the panic starts to set in, because you don't understand what's going on with you, and then you're talking to other people who don't understand even farther, but they're trying to calm you down because they know that physically there's nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you'll wind up in the emergency room, and doctors will come up with some fly shit like, oh yeah, you had an arrhythmia, because they got to tell you something. They got to charge you for that EKG. they gonna charge you.
When I went to the hospital in response to it, like maybe the second time, the staff was accusing me of being high on something, and that was really insulting. And I told them, no, I'm not on drugs, and they came back around and asked the second time, and I was like, stop asking me that, figure something else out, because that's not what's wrong with me. But they were just dead set on thinking like, oh yeah, you must be high. But it was a why I think that it's real is because so there's different stages that people can be in. There is one point where I think that you can just be hyper aware of anxiety and kind of looking at it as a boogeyman, like, oh, is it going to come up anytime? Like, any moment in time I'm going to have an anxiety attack. If you're in that space, yeah, the slightest thing that we're walking up some steps and getting short of breath can make you think it's about the sugar again, and you just thinking about it can bring it on. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely not in that space. It's more so that I know that I have to manage just kind of like, what I'm taking in terms of like the amount of, I stay away from caffeine. I know that I can't necessarily be in a lot of like high stress situations that could really just put me in a space where I'm more vulnerable, susceptible for the triggers to kick things off. Mm-hmm. If I start getting those things, actually, I went through phases where I actually forget that I deal with, even though I actually was prescribed medication for it, and that actually has helped. But I really have gotten to a point where I'm not really so sure that I actually need it. And I'm taking a very low dosage of something called sertraline, which is generic Zoloft, for those who don't know. And it is something that I feel like just keeps me mellow. But so basically, I participated in the protest. And like midway, things got kind of heavy. I felt those symptoms kicking in, and I just knew it was just from all the chaos that was going on from around me, where I had to try to tell myself like, hey, you're good. But it was a lot going on. So you're hearing explosions, cars on fire. Like, it was not anything that I don't blame myself for it. I recognize that we've seen plenty of examples even in our own families when you would have a lot of times like middle-aged women that you may know, and people will make statements like, "Oh, don't tell us so and so. Like, her nerves bad. She can't handle anything." It's like, she has anxiety, and dude, we're not calling that. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. So I understand that that's what the situation is, and I can move through it by just seeing a therapist to fix what the inner issues may be, because also I know that it can also be a physical manifestation of unresolved issue that you may be dealing with. Um, and it's I was just gonna say that when it comes to like the medication aspect, I think it's just important to remove the stigma. So I think this conversation is great because too often people just don't realize that it comes down to like a chemical imbalance of things. Um, for instance, with the sertraline, my it's a mood stabilizer. So everyone has this chemical in their brain that's keeping them calm, and my brain just happens to soak that up much faster, and I just need to add more of that back into my body. So that's all that is.
Okay. Well, see, the thing about it is, um, I try to encourage people to use medication as a last resort and that's because doctors' first resort is to prescribe medication. You know what I mean? And I don't trust that. But there are so many things that you may be doing on a regular basis that can trigger anxiety, and we don't recognize them until we get a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and start being around people who know what they're doing and what they're talking about, rather than people who are paid to just prescribe and get you out of the way. If you go to the emergency room for an anxiety, for a panic episode, there's nothing they can do to you. You're at the wrong doctor. You need to be at a psychologist. I mean, really, because one thing I've noticed about anxiety is it starts once you start to be able to manage it and control it when you start being able to express yourself. When you're able to freely express yourself to people, and they're able to communicate back and forth with you, and you feel like you are around people who can relate, it magically goes away. And there are other things. There are other things that can bring on the onsets of anxiety. Your diet. Your diet. A lot of us don't recognize the importance of what you put in your body. The things that that you're eating can definitely trigger anxiety. For example, I just looked up some of these.
Some of the sugar and caffeine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here are 10 foods that can trigger anxiety. Caffeine is one of them. Artificial and refined sugars, the all that high fructose corn syrup and all that shit that's in all and most of the sugary things that we eat right now is bad money. It's bad, really bad. Gluten, processed foods, a lot of greasy stuff, alcohol, dairy products, soda, fried foods, all of these things. Because you have to understand that these aren't real foods. A food is something that nourishes your body. We call things that we eat food, but they're not food in the sense of what food is supposed to do for you. Whenever you eat food, you are supposed to be getting healthier. And you're not getting healthier just because you're eating. You could be doing the exact opposite. So when you haven't been able to make the connection between the mind, body, and the soul, when you don't understand that when you abuse your body, it affects your hormones, and your hormones directly affect your mental state. When you don't make that connection, you may think that that you can fix things artificially when you've been doing nothing but putting artificial things inside your body, and your body is rejecting those things, and they're doing it in ways that are foreign to you, such as anxiety. Because your body is acting in a way that makes you think that you're going to die, and because you don't want to die, you're getting more and more anxious about it. And people who aren't feeling the way that you're feeling can't relate. So that makes you in a bigger state of panic. But there are so many self-help. There are so many self-help techniques that you can employ. Huh?
Those people are the worst. It doesn't really work to have just anyone around you. During those times, I felt that it is important to people in your inner circle to let them know that you do suffer from anxiety, and so they won't freak out and make it worse for you.
Yeah.
I just need them to kind of respond in the way I need to respond.
Yeah, but you need them to be more than just calm. you need them to be more than just calm. You need them to be able to actually help you. You know what I mean? Like you need them to be able to be present in the moment, not just there. So you need people who and that you have to be able to explain what's going on to them, and they need to be able to act as a practitioner, a practitioner for that moment. You know, they don't have to be in a position to necessarily rescue you or for you to have to rely on them, but they have to understand what you're going through enough to not just abandon you and be like, yo, this motherfucker crazy, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because you are acting crazy. You know, this is not a normal thing, you know? So like I said, there are a lot of self-help techniques that you can use. And when you're in that anxious state, you're not going to think that these things will work. But once they prove themselves to work, then you'll start seeing noticeable differences, unless there are some chemical imbalance issues that you are suffering from, in which you may need to prescribe, will have medication prescribed. But like I said, I would use medication or seek out medical help through prescriptions as a last resort. Diet and exercise are anxiety killers.
And I have noticed the difference.
Yeah.
I've had that in my life, someone that hasn't been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say also that I can recognize that when during like the stage and point where you are in your life, I think you need to be aware of that also. The last time that I had an anxiety attack was when I started a new job, and it was one where I was there was like a lot riding on it for me because I felt slightly underqualified for it, but I just, was pushing myself to just be able to step up to the plate and do what I needed to do. But of course, within those first 2 to 3 weeks, I was kind of dealing with those feelings of kind of like, oh, are they going to let me go? Am I not going to be able to make it? And I definitely know, combined with the fact that I had to be there 6 a.m. Every day, and which maybe even earlier, had to be alert. I started picking up drinking coffee at the same time, and so in conjunction, that resulted in me having a anxiety attack eventually, and I realized that that's what that was. Once I was able to like move through that and get solid in my position, I definitely felt things, ease up. But I definitely think that the medication helped me make that transition much better.
Yeah. Doing things that give you confidence are anxiety killers. You know what I'm saying? You want to avoid things that make you feel inadequate or inept. So, learning how to do something well.
Realistic.
Huh?
That's not realistic to avoid those new things that make you feel inadequate or inept, because you have to push yourself in order to grow.
No, but you can still do it in a way that's constructive enough to where you can still keep your confidence. You can manage to do things that you're good at, or infuse the things that you're good at in whatever new things that you do. This is what I'm talking about. You have to find yourself in order to avoid anxiety. Anxiety is about your fear is about the unknown. It's about not having control. When you are confident, or when you know how to do something, you avoid anxiety because you know that you can compete. You know that you can't be thrown off of your square. You know that you can't be rattled. So you have to put yourself in positions where you can shine in that way. It's a mental condition. So you have to mentally unravel that condition. You know what I'm saying? You have to almost outsmart yourself, along with the diet, along with the exercise, along with the other techniques that you can employ in order to alleviate anxiety or totally eradicate it. I read a lot. I read up a lot on this when I got sick of this shit when I was 27 years old. Wait. 27 years old. And on some real shit, I was on some bullshit in 1997, and I noticed whenever I was on some bullshit, that's when I would get the panic attacks. And I was like, I'm getting too old for this bullshit. So I started reading up on it. Went down to B. Dalton or Walden books or whatever, and I looked up anxiety. And I started thumbing through some books or whatever, and I bought a few of them. And I started reading up on it, getting in touch with it, and it started to make sense to me because I started to be able to see myself in the pages. And I said, oh, okay, yeah. So simple things like when you start to feel that anxiety, write down exactly what you're feeling. Write it down. Don't drop the pen. Don't trick yourself into thinking that you're so nervous that you can't write and all of that shit. You know those things that you do when you're having a panic attack. Like I can't even hold the pen. Oh, give yourself a break. Cut the bullshit. Write down the shit and walk away from it for a half an hour or an hour or whatever, and come back and read what you wrote. Because more than likely, an hour later, you're not feeling that way anymore. And you see what kind of state you were in when you wrote that. And you see how unrealistic your state of mind was. And then you start seeing yourself like, damn, if I'm able to see myself in that state, imagine what other people are seeing. And I'm expecting them to help me. But now you're starting to help yourself. Because now you're starting to understand where it's coming from. And now you're starting to understand how unrealistic it is. You give it power when you keep saying, no, it's real. No, you have to take that power away from it because it's you. The stronger self in you should be what's real, not the part that makes you weak. That's not even being caused by anything external. If somebody has a gun to your head, yeah, that's a good reason to be afraid. But if you're just sitting there thinking like, oh shit, damn, I missed my fucking car payment and shit, they're gonna come take my come on, man. Come on, we can do better than that. So once you learn,
keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah, what like I said, once you start learning how to take better control of your life, and once you stop giving power to things that are false, then you'll start to see it. But it's a practice. It's not something that you're going to do one time. It's a practice. Just like some people practice submitting to the fear. They submit to the anxiety. You have to practice fighting against it. Like, no, I see you. Like nowadays, I don't suffer from that shit anymore because I see it. Like, I don't give a fuck if all night long, if I'm up all night long saying to myself, you the man, Omar, can't nobody get with you, son 752. You the man, Omar, can't nobody get with you, son 752. I will do that shit 1,000 times. And guess what happens? Guess what happens while I'm not looking? Start feeling better. Start feeling better.
He's 100% right. I can actually speak to that from even personal experience. Because even when it does come about, I know that I've been able to talk myself through that, where I'm just kind of letting myself know I can overcome this. This is something that's just mental. But I want to also say from one of the therapists that I've talked to, they also shared with me that people who tend to also deal with anxiety also somewhat have a sensitive body, and that is just something that is okay and just to be aware of. And a lot of times you have traits that other people may actually find admirable, which is great attention to detail, and you may be, your senses are heightened aware. You may notice things that other people won't notice, and those are great, I guess, survival tactics, so to speak, if we're still living off the land. But at the same time, those 90 seconds also can be a little harmful to yourself when you are aware of just kind of how much your surroundings may be unsafe to some degree.
And I think that's just something to just be mindful of, that that's just kind of what it is. That you taking in the same senses that other people are, uh, it may just affect you differently.
Yeah, well, everybody's situation is different,
60
but
seconds.
I do believe that everybody's situation is manageable. But management and manageability is all about what you make it. Nobody can give you power. You have to wield power within yourself. Power comes from within. It comes from within. But if you don't practice believing in yourself, and you practice disbelieving in yourself, or you practice allowing something to believe that it has dominion over your thought processes, then you're going to have a harder time climbing up out of that rut. Now, if it is a situation where you really do have a chemical imbalance, and you may suffer from depression, because panic attacks and anxiety attacks, or whatever you may call them, are symptoms of bouts with anxiety, but they don't have to be the bouts with anxiety that you are doomed to lose. Anything can be managed, but when you put your entire fate into the medical system, which is going to translate into the pharmaceutical industry, then you just put yourself on a treadmill, because the end game is to keep you on the drugs. It's never to get you off of it. Now, you want to get up off of it, then you have to do something that will keep you up off of it. I don't mean just stop using them and run around here like a crazy person, making everybody else's life miserable. But I mean, actually doing something for yourself where you can be an example for somebody else that's going through this shit. My own daughter started having panic attacks when she was about 11. I remember it was about 2 years ago, two or 3 years ago. And I was like, when she was going through it, I was like, damn, you're going through it around the same age when I first had mine. I was like, oh, I got this shit. Huh?
Why do you think she was having them?
Who knows? Who knows why I was having them at that age? But the
You don't. I feel like I know the reason why. You never talk to therapists about it to uncover what that may be.
Listen, I know I've talked to many I've had much therapy throughout my life, but none of that shit. Okay, therapy only makes you talk about your experiences. That's all it does. That's all. They're not psychics. They're psychologists. So they get you to open up. I do this show every day. I have no problem opening up. But when I was 11 years old, I don't know what the fuck, where it came from. I was sitting there watching TV. I was probably watching Night Gallery or some shit like that. And all of a sudden I started thinking about death. And it started making me scared. Like, yo, when you die, it's really the end. But who knows what happens when, I don't know what the fuck it was. The next time that I had it, when I was 13, about to turn 14. Now, there were a whole lot of circumstances that were going on in my life at the time that really could have triggered it. And along with the puberty. Now, I was really going through puberty full scale at that time. So there are a lot of things that were determining factors, but I can't nail it down to one, especially for I have way more evidence for when I was 13 and 14 than when I was 11. When I was 11, it didn't last anyway. You know what I'm saying? It didn't last. But I did eat a lot of sugar. I was always, eating a bunch of sugar, bubble yum and now laters and all of that sweets. So I was doomed for something to happen. I wasn't eating right. A little skinny kid, and I'm not eating right and all of that. So shit happens. But listen, we got to get on up out of here, man. I appreciate you calling in. I really do.
Okay.
I see you over there in Black Philadelphia harassing everybody. You know what I mean? Going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I see you. I see you.
Out of that group for standing up for Black women.
Dude, you don't stick up for Black women. What you do is you antagonize cats and you dismiss them like crazy. If you want to call that standing up for Black women, you know what I'm saying? Huh?
It was a call to action for Black men to do something about.
Dude, you be dissing the shit out of Black men. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is not. Listen, black women do not want to stand against black men. That's not what they want. You directly tell them to do that shit. Like, stop fucking with them until they treat y'all right. Like, they ain't trying to hear that shit. Don't you see? You know what I'm saying?
They inbox me, saying thank you. I was just trying to promote self-preservation to them because we are doing it. And I just want black men to realize if we lose black women in support, we are in a terrible place.
We ain't never going to lose it.
We take it for granted because they just give it to us. I know that's a problem.
It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. We're not losing. We're not ever going to lose black women because black women are never going to lose us. Yeah, we have some black men.
They don't show up for them the way they show up for us.
Listen, in isolated examples, it doesn't look that way. But you can't look at it that way. You're looking at it the way the white man looks at it, and that's not going to cut it. And overall, the black man and the black woman are all they have with each other. That's all they have. You know, nobody is going to protect the black woman like the black man does. Do black men always protect black women the way that we would like to see that them do it? No. Do black women always stand up for black men the way that we would like to see it? No, they don't. No, they don't. Come on, stop it, dude. With all of this, I don't need no man. You know what I mean? Niggas ain't shit. They ain't nothing but dogs and all of that. Don't tell me. Listen, all black women ain't on no conscious shit. Ain't on some old, black men are the best thing since sliced bread shit. All black women are not on that. Many of them are not like that. You know what I mean? Just because they will open up their legs to a black man and have babies and then put them on child support does not mean that they are down with the black man that way. We have many problems in our society, but most of us are not willing to separate from each other, and we're not going to tolerate somebody within our ranks telling us that we need to separate or else. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I understand your motivation, but you might want to tweak your technique a little bit. But I see you. It's all good. But I got to get up out of here.
I guess I was on my. All right, how we going?
All right, man. Love is love, man. And you have a good night. All right, Joe. Listen, we got to do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious June 24th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They are SPECIAL. They are number one out the box. Hey, yo, you know what, man? I didn't really want to do this, but I have to do this because I have to give a posthumous birthday shout out. A beautiful young woman, who has passed on. She was a go-getter, and she was a good go-getter. And that would be my girl, Guinevere Edemwanyi. And I miss her so much. She was such a sweet soul. She was such good people. And just last year at this time, she would have been listening to this show. She would have been looking at the show. She would have been commenting. She was down like a submarine, but she passed. And the go-getters will never be the same without a soul like that. So rest in heaven, Guinevere Edemwanyi. It's your birthday today. Happy heavenly birthday, love. And also Joy, just being me, Finister. Happy birthday to you. And La Boca Chula Estrella turning 30 years old today. And Morelia Rodriguez, happy birthday to you. And Tressa L. Carter Costin turning 50 years old today. 1970, baby. And Mary Williams, first year, all up in the 40-40 club, fresh out of 30. She got the 40 in her hand. She got the 40 in her hand. She go, bow, 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 bow. What's up now? We gonna hold it down. 10 year, 10 toes down. Happy birthday to you, Mary. And Mika Love. Go get her, Mika Love. Happy birthday to you, Mika. And Lionel Hansa turning 45 years old today. He got the bow, 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 bow. Lionel. Happy birthday to you. And he's raising money for Equal Justice Initiative. Happy birthday to you. And Dorothy Haynes turning 57 years old today. And last but not least, go get a Mia Artemis Whaley. Happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious June 24th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, to rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, hey, yo. Listen, man, you know what I mean? It's paranoia, anxiety, you know, being scared, fearful, having phobias, all crazy. All of it is mental. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Triggering our fight and flight response. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, y'all, I want to apologize if I came up here sounding like I'm somebody's therapist or like I have a PhD in psychology. I don't. But what I do have is I have a desire and a hankering and a determination to eliminate the fears in my life that I can control. I'm not going to let the things that I can control, you know, fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And if you get certain things together in your mental frame, then you can eliminate a lot of the craziness, a lot of the bullshit, a lot of. Yo, man, thanks for coming through. 6 Foot Bandit, the 6 Foot Bandit. Thanks all y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel thus far. Make sure y'all share the show. This is the Daily Go Get It Business Show. We're on every night, 7 p.m. We'll be back tomorrow night on that Thursday. It's coming through. So we're going to do it like that. So I got to get on the body here. We've been on here for a long time. I didn't do the show for this long. I'm out. I'll piece of all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. Okay. All righty then. Oh, thanks to the boy Steven for calling in. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. And I holla. We gotta get out of here, y'all. You know what I mean? Love y'all to death. Resuscitation and love you right back to life. Peace. Okay. Yeah. Peace, you know?